Kind of gave the wife my cold. And now she sent me to the store to get lemons because she wants it for her tea. Well, I guess the good thing is Walmart sells flowers. So we get her a little bouquet, make her feel a little bit better. Then we gotta run over to Lowe's. Got some stuff to get. Little update on the aux beam LED headlights. They are working great. One of my biggest complaints when I ever got in the car before with the factory lights, when it was dark and rainy like this, you couldn't see anything. It was like the ground just totally absorbed all of the headlight beam. Those things did great. I just went down a dark little road, totally saw a puddle I would have probably hydroplaned in otherwise. So great safety advantage. So I got a little bit of a leaky faucet, so I need to get something here to Lowe's. Whoosh. Whoosh. Oh, coffee, man, gotta have it. Speaking of, check out what my letter carrier just dropped off. Now he's on his way back with something with the rest of the mail, but for some reason when he was going this way, he jumped out of the vehicle and gave me a package, and I got the first of my new merchandise. Check it out, man. Coffee cup. I think the L to the W is a little bit small. On Teespring it looked a bit bigger, but check out what's on the front. Woohoo! Man, look at that. You can now get your own Project Z28 coffee cups. Link down below on Teespring. Ooh, I'm excited about that. That's awesome. Now, what's not awesome, let's talk about the cylinder heads. So where the hell are these things and what's going on? Guess I just have to come out and tell you guys about the heads. They got shipped Friday. Haha, yeah! I know it's been long enough. We've been waiting. Ken's apologized to me even though it had nothing to do with him. He said he's never had a problem with Profiler. I guess, I don't know, some people call that sick or they had some staffing issues once the valves came in, but man, they're on their way. They're expected to arrive here on Tuesday the 11th, so UPS has come as early as like 10, maybe about 2 o'clock. So UPS, 10 o'clock would work out really good because that would give me 2.5 days, say, to go ahead and try to get this car running before I roll out to Cletus and Cars and the ZL1. Daily Driven ZL1. Check out his channel. We're going to do a little collaboration thing over there, so this is going to be pretty exciting. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get this car running beforehand. I'm not sure because we're leaving on, we're leaving on a Friday, which is when I normally post my vlog, so I'm going to try to have something ready for you early if I can. If not, I'll try to post from Houston. One way or not, the vlogs might be a little bit off. And again, I apologize. Like for this Friday, I didn't post anything because I didn't have any content. I didn't want to throw out anything. And the only thing I really had was, hey, the cylinder heads got shipped. So, great news. The heads are on their way. Now, speaking of, let me give a shout out again to my boy Sparty Nation. Save my ass again. We were talking cylinder heads, and he asked what did I get? He says the factory size was 64cc. You know, if you go smaller, you know, you boost the compression up. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's what I ordered was 64cc. So then I had to start doing some research, and going through my notes and stuff. That was the most highly recommended size, which would be like the dome chamber in here. And I'm like, wow, I thought I went smaller to bump the compression up, but I guess you know, you can go so small to a point that you're not going to get an effective burn in the cylinder, so that's probably why I stuck with 64cc. But then, you know, and I knew this with like the head gaskets, and he mentioned, you know, like the thicknesses, and I'm like, well crap, I guess I need a head gasket now. So if he didn't say that, I wouldn't have looked for the head gaskets, which was a good thing because what I bought was a rebuild kit from Felpro. So those gaskets were basically designed for the stock engine, which would have been a cast iron cylinder head. So it would have worked, but some things I read that those type of gaskets could actually like leave indents in the cylinder head. So if this engine were to blow up and I was to put a new short block in and I wanted to reuse those heads, I'd have to take it to a machine shop and mill it down. Then it truly would not be 64cc anymore, and then that would be kind of expensive to have a mill that stuff off. So I got these from GM Performance from Summit Racing. They're from GM Performance. They're Teflon coated so they won't stick. Stainless ring here in the middle so it won't go. The only odd thing is, I saw Michael Jackson black and white or something. I don't. But there are the same exact part number, and Summit just assured me that there was a design change. The problem is when I ordered this one, I only ordered one for some reason, thinking it would come in a set, and when I opened the box I only had one, so then I ordered another one, and it's weird. So but they are the same gaskets. Summit assured me this. They went through and checked and said, yeah, that's it. I mean, it looks the same. It's got the same texture. Just one's has a black coating and one has this kind of like white and gray coating. I just had somebody make a comment on my video, and hopefully I didn't sound nasty or rude to you, but I seriously went, if I hear just stuff that sounds like bullshit, I'm going to say it's bullshit. The 305s in these cars are not capable of over 300 horsepower. I don't care how much crap you throw on it. As far as like the stock stuff, you're not going to get it. He said he did one with the cam and ported out his intake and heads, whatever, and got 320 to the wheels. And sorry, I just don't believe it. He's like, dude, you could have ported out your intake manifold and heads and done it for free. Now, first off, there's a science to this. You just can't go take a Dremel and start cutting shit out of an air chamber and expect it to work. You might get some improvement, but first, I'm pretty sure Ken would highly disagree with that statement that you're not going to port the intake manifold to flow as good as his manifold. Plus, you can only port the bottom. You're not really going to port the top. There's no way to get in there and open that up, and the runners are limited. Unless you could still find somewhere somebody has maybe like the SLP runners or something like that. So let me show you a little thing here. Now, first off, and I'll show you when I get the new cylinder heads, it doesn't matter how much you port these things. What you can't change is this combustion chamber here. The newer heads are kind of designed off the Vortex system, which kind of has a heart shape, which swirls the air, gives it that vortex, hence the name Vortex. So no matter what you do to port these heads, number one, they're cast iron and they're heavy, and two, you can't change this chamber in here. You can't do it. All you can do is try to open up some of these ports right here, which it's not really worth your time. Even everybody on the forum says for what you would spend to port these, either get Vortex heads or change them. Okay, now let's look at, you could port this thing all you want, but there's only so much material that you have to port with. But guess what? I can port this one out too and flow more. So let's just look at what we got here. Okay, so this is at, I'm just going to make this easy, 50 millimeters. Right here is 50 millimeters. Let's go here to the stock manifold and I'll show you how ridiculous this is. 50 millimeters literally spreads out to the other runner. Okay, so right there alone, you can't port this manifold to match this right there. Because 50 would take out this entire sidewall. So let's see what we do have right here. And we basically got about 40 millimeters. These holes are 10 millimeters bigger. Now, let's go here. Let's compare. So we got about almost 50. We'll just give it 50. All right, we'll be generous. Because it's not quite at, well, hell no, it's not even close to 50. So we got about 43 millimeters. Sorry, the battery died. I don't have my digital readout. $52 to 43, almost 10 millimeters bigger on that. Now width-wise, I don't think there's too much of a difference. So we got about 31 right here. Yeah, so about 31 millimeters wide. which again, here, we come in here, we're about 30 millimeters, so 1 millimeter wider, but almost 10 millimeters taller. You can't make up the difference in this. You just can't do it. Like I said, not to be mean, but I mean, don't tell me you're making all this kind of power. I'm thinking that this car here is going to put down about 320, maybe 350 to the wheels, and I got a lot more work. I got the bigger injectors. I have fuel pressure regulator. We're going to bump the fuel pressure up, and it's going to be tuned. I'm upgrading a little bit of my ignition system with a bigger coil, bigger wires, a better distributor. Of course, we got the camshaft, which is good size. From Cam specs, you know, I talked to them and told them what I was doing with the engine and what they recommended for the camshaft, so it should be matched to what this intake manifold is going to flow and everything else. I have the headers, I have the whole exhaust system going back, and then we got roller rockers, which is going to free up a little bit of resistance. I mean, not expecting like huge gains off of that, but I'm just trying to squeak out every little bit of power I can out of the stock bottom end. And I mean, if this bottom end blows, I'll get a GM short block and we'll throw it in there. But hopefully that won't happen. We won't see what kind of power we get out of this. I mean, just the 305s were a very weak engine. They weren't built with very strong parts, so if you did try to push too much out of them, they're going to blow up. Even with this thing, I can't go too crazy because this is just a 2-bolt main. I can't expect to pull 6,000 plus RPM out of this thing. So that's why I told Comp Cams that 6,000 was about where I want to redline. I said about 5,800 would probably be a good flow, because I think that's about where these manifolds are the sweet spot for the first tune port, the first TPI. It's about 5,800, so that's where I got the cam matched to make power from about 2,000 up to 5,800. I really didn't want it strong off of idle because these cars are already kind of hard to launch. These tune ports create a ton of bottom end, so I kind of wanted to build into it a little bit. And 2,000 is still even not that high, so I got the old cylinder heads up here because actually there's some brackets on here. This one I won't need. It's to lift the engine out. Hopefully I won't need it, but it's better to put it on now while I have access to it then too. And then there's on both cylinder heads, there's a bolt that comes out of here, a stud, for some grounding wires, some wires that ground the chassis of the car, ground to here. So I need to go ahead when I get the new heads, transfer that. I would really love, what I want to do is take the stock intake, put it back together and kind of display it, because just to me the tune port's pretty. I really need some way to sandblast this thing. I think my dad's got a sandblaster, but I just want to put this thing back together and display it because they're pretty. Oh yeah, Sparty Nation, I had to order the other gasket, so I took your recommendation, got a oil pump primer as well. So we're gonna go ahead and spin this thing up, get some oil pressure running before we start it. So other than that, I don't really have much to do until UPS brings me my package, or USPS. Alright, here it is, my t-shirt from my new collection on Teespring. Well, the only thing that sucks about my mail time is I sponsor it. I'm only one of those channels that I get stuff in the mail. Alright, let's see here. So this is what I'm going to wear to Cletus and Cars. There we go. And look at that. Look at that. You guys ready? Are you ready for... What do you think? Is it like a good title, Project Z28? You know, I don't know. I was trying to go from the hip, but that is 100% my car. Those wheels. That's her. And you get the great logo in the front. Alright, so there we have it. Got my t-shirt ready for Cletus, and I just did laundry. The wife did laundry. Oh well. We'll get it clean beforehand. Hell yeah. I got a video to go work on. Right. So technical question for my friends out there. Maybe Sparty Nation, you come save me again. Now looking at the Felpro gaskets on the kit that I got, it doesn't say anywhere on it top or bottom, and I read Felpro's website, and they said unless they specifically state top or bottom, there is no way. And I've lined up the gaskets both ways, and the holes all line up no matter how I do it. So my question is, here, see this gasket here has trying to get into the light, a metal skeleton here that kind of sticks out right here. You can see it starts here, kind of comes around, right? It's on both corners and a little bit around each of the cylinders. See there's a gap here where on this side it's paper in between and there's no skeleton. So now, is there a top or a bottom to this thing? I mean, which way should the metal go? The guys at Summit Racing said it should go up. I've been reading on some forums, and some people say the metal should go down. I'm kind of thinking put it down because I don't want to put this metal into the aluminum cylinder head, but I'm not quite sure if there is or isn't a proper way to do this. I mean, why on these gaskets? Maybe because these are thinner, they decided to reinforce it, so maybe it's a non-issue because these are kind of thinner, so maybe they just decided to reinforce these corners to where the Felpro at the stock thickness does not have those corner braces at all on either side. So I don't know if any of you have ever experienced that before. Please let me know. Man, I gotta shake this cold. So other than that, I really wasn't going to end the vlog now, but I've been working on it and I'm at like 16 minutes, so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Me and the wife are going to go someplace tomorrow, which will be Sunday, so I don't know when I'm going to post this. I'll probably post it on Wednesday and get this live on Monday, probably. But yeah, me and the wife are going to go somewhere. It's going to be a little bit fun and exciting, so make sure you stay tuned. And hopefully, probably, because that video will come out Wednesday, I should have my heads by then. So make sure you subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit that bell notification, because you don't want to miss me unwrapping, packaging these heads, and getting going on this car so we can get it built. All right. So thank you for your support. Please subscribe if you haven't. Like, shares, comments appreciated. Let's help grow the channel, and we'll see you for the unveiling of the new heads. Thanks for watching.